YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. We have been here in our Ozark homestead for just over 2 years now, and we had a lot of goals set for year 1 and year 2 of what we wanted to accomplish. Well, as everything goes, we did not meet all of those goals, but we have just passed our 2-year mark, and one goal that we had for year 2 was to get pigs. And we wanted to breed pigs, we wanted to raise pigs. This last year, we actually purchased a butcher hog from a neighboring farm, and we were really happy with that, but our freezer is empty. We don't have any more pork left. That means no bacon, no sausage, so that makes for some unhappy family members. Well, we've been researching pigs and trying to better understand what we're getting into before we get into it. And we came across some different pigs for sale in the local area. And we went and looked at a couple earlier this week, but they may or may not have been spoken for. You know how Facebook Marketplace goes. People say they're buying something and then maybe they don't show up. So we actually found some that are in the very same little tiny town as us, just a couple miles away, that we went and looked at last night. They actually had 2 females and 1 male for sale, an intact boar, and they can't afford to feed them anymore. And I kind of feel bad for these people. They got into pigs. I think they were hoping to make money at it, but it is a big investment to feed them out before they have piglets and you can sell them. And so they're in a tough spot, and these pigs look to be maybe malnourished. They definitely aren't thriving. They aren't the size they should be at the ages that they are. And so we don't want to mail, though. I don't want to mail. Economically, it's actually less expensive to do artificial insemination than to keep a boar. And so I would rather do that. We kind of looked into what it takes to do artificial insemination. I'm pretty sure that's something that I can handle. And we'd rather go that route. One of the females is pregnant and they believe she's due within a week or 2, but she's very, very lean. At this point, we're not buying her as a pregnant pig because those piglets may all be a loss. I don't have high hopes for them based on her condition. They are quite an affordable price, the 2 females. We said we wouldn't take the boar, but they know someone else who may be interested in taking the boar. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go pick them up. We wanted to pick them up as soon as possible and start feeding them right away. Give the one female the best chance at having viable piglets. Also just to get them off the hands of these poor folks. They had them out free ranging in what would have been like, you know, the pasture type of grass, but they were so hungry that they were breaking through fences and going on to neighboring properties. So they ended up putting them in this really tiny little pen that, I don't know, my best guess is like maybe 10 feet by 15 feet, somewhere thereabouts. And it was all mud. There was nothing to eat in there. I think they were throwing in some hay because they also had a horse. And so that was all that was there, but we want to get them out of that situation as quickly as possible. So in true fashion to our family, we're not ready for pigs. We don't technically have a place to put them, but we do have a trailer, which is the cattle trailer, which is pretty big, way bigger than needed for hauling 2 pigs. And so we figure we can go get them and we can keep them in the trailer until we finish the area that we want to have for them. The area behind me is the goat enclosure, and we used to have it separated into 2 areas. One area was for our buck and the other area for the females and the kids, but we no longer have the buck who was a problem, and the buck we have is really pleasant and enjoyable, so he hangs out with the females now. So we wanted to expand the unused goat pen area, reinforce it, and then we'll use that as a temporary pig area. Let me show you. So this is the goat enclosure that we currently use for our goats. It ends right here at this line, and you can see it goes back down that way. and there's some goats in there. They're not stuck in there. They free range all day long, so the gate's open. They can go out and they forage wherever they want. They're right next to the rabbit hutch over here. But this area here was one cattle panel long, ending right where this post now is, and then it was the same length, which is 3 cattle panels long. We are going to extend that out to one cattle panel on each side, so it gives it an extra 15 feet, and so this will be a much bigger area. Now pigs are a lot more pushy than goats are, so we couldn't just use T-posts. So my son went ahead and added in a strong wood post here, and he's added this one here, and we've put the corner there. I think he's going to add a couple on this side, and then of course we'll have multiple T-posts in the middle. This will hopefully keep them from pushing so aggressively, and once they are, so to speak, fat and happy, getting all the feed that they need, hopefully they won't be as pushy on the fencing. We also intend to put a hot wire of electric fence around the lower edge on the inside, so they will be trained on hot wire. Once they get trained on the hot wire in an actual physical enclosure that they can't push out of, then they hopefully will ultimately be able to move out into the forest and be rotationally grazed throughout the forest with just a hot wire. That is our vision for them. We want them to be able to get acorns and other things, root through the forest area. We want them to clean up the underbrush for us, and we see it as a win-win, a happier life for them, as well as helping us clean up the forest. So that's our vision. We're not there yet. You can see this is currently a 3-sided-ish pen. There's another thing that we have to deal with. Let me get over here. I'm kind of juggling. I baked bread this morning, and I wanted to bring a loaf of bread over to the folks that we're getting the pigs from. Anyhow, right here inside the goat pen is one of the clear outs for our septic system. And the goats weren't a problem. They don't mess with rocks and things like that. But pigs will be rooting, and we're worried that they can cause harm to that pipe. So we're going to have to build something around it that's going to be strong enough to keep pigs away from that pipe. You can see there's the remnants of some goat play area that the kids had made for them. The pigs will likely also be pretty rough on the base of these trees that will be inside the pen. We feel like we're okay with that. We're not quite sure. We're hoping they won't be too rough on them, because when we cleared out trees from this area using the bulldozer, we wanted to keep those trees essentially. They make for good shade, and it looks like Rick's got the trailer hooked up and he's about ready to go. We had a little enclosure there for the buck goat to go in for inclement weather. We probably will take that out. We're hoping that these trees here will provide enough shade in the summertime. And this area here, you can see, is really muddy. Maybe you can't see. This is a very muddy area. The water table here is very high, and we have a spring that is just right over there behind the bulldozer. So there's a lot of water here, and this doesn't really dry up. This is probably going to be our wallow for the pigs. And we don't have any water over here, like a hydrant or anything like that. So we will likely have to haul water over using the IBC tote on the tractor, which is okay. We do that with the cattle already, so that's just one more stop for the water. We haven't worked out all the details, but this is what we're going with, so we better load up and go meet our new pigs. Here is the cattle trailer that we're going to take over. We're hoping we can get it into the area we need to. There's a little feed dish, and we got a bucket of feed somewhere to try and bait them into the trailer. This, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So there's a bucket of feed. We understand that it can be very difficult to load pigs into a trailer, so we've seen plenty of blooper videos on people working and working and working trying to get them into a trailer. We don't know. We're expecting them to be highly motivated by feed, but that also means the boar may jump into the trailer and we'll have to get him out. So this could be interesting, Sasha. What do you think? You want some pigs? You're down. Here we are with the piggies. This is the big boar here, but those are the two females. Just got backed up. Oh boy, that was the wrong guy. Keegan. Nah. Here, do you want me to get in there and hold this one?
I figured if they see him in the mountains and we don't need him, they would probably get him.
They'll go in this way, like this.
Come on, pig. This is gonna be fun. I have no idea. I said I have no idea. He got out.
Come on, piggies.
Come on, pig. They're gonna try and go under? Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Come on. Come on.
Go on, girls. Get right up in there.
Come on. Here, pig.
There we go. Excellent. Woo. That was way easy. Super easy to get them in there. But now, unfortunately, their boar's out where they don't want them. So that was the pen that they were in right there.
That was easy enough.
Yeah, thank you. So we got the pigs all loaded up. That was amazing how quickly that happened. We'll have to review the footage to see how that turned out, but now we're heading back out the long driveway. It was about a quarter-mile long driveway and there wasn't anywhere to turn around, so we had to back the trailer all the way up this whole driveway, and there was kid toys and other stuff kind of as obstacles the whole way. So that was a little bit interesting getting back in there, but that was quick, so we're pleased with that. Sorry we couldn't give you any really fun bloopers with our loading of the pigs, but now we're going to head home and continue working on their pen. Well, Sasha is certainly curious about what we have brought home now. And there they are back there. They're probably gonna have to stay in here at least tonight, but they are Yorkshire Duroc mix. One of them is red and the other one is white with, I guess they're called blue spots. And the spotted one is the one that is currently expecting. Her belly has dropped down and her teats are starting to come down, but they're not completely full. So that tells us, we believe that she has a little bit of time left. So as you saw in that footage, they responded very quickly to feed, jumped right in without any issue other than the boar ran out and was no longer in the area where he was supposed to be, but he actually went right back into his pen when the owner lured him with a little bit of corn. So he went right back in and all was well on their end. I think they have another buyer for the boar, so that's good news. Help that family out a little bit. What do you think of the new piggies, Kenny? Oh, Sasha's jealous. Let's see. We intend to deworm them, and right now Rick is going to give them a treatment for lice, because we want to make sure that they don't have any parasites or other stuff going on. So for the lice, it's just a sprinkled powder that you spread over them. The next thing we need to do is deworm them, and we saw this in another video and thought it was pretty clever. Some people used Twinkies in order to inject the ivermectin, which is for worms, into the Twinkies and just get them to eat it. So we're going to try this for ourselves. In the video, they had cautioned that pigs may not take to it if they weren't used to the treat already, but like I said, I think these guys are pretty motivated by food. So you want to inject that into here?
Absolutely. So we've set it to just under 200 pounds here.
For the weight of the pigs.
Yeah, it's 250. Jam it in the hole.
Your fingers are blocking the video.
That's it.
So it's squeezed into there. Is that ivermectin any particular flavor?
It's Twinkie flavored right now.
So it's in that Twinkie, and there's 2 pigs. So we will do a second Twinkie.
Now we'll set it just below 500. Simply 250 for this one. I'm gonna put this. These would be double stuffed.
All right.
Sasha, get back.
That's not for the dog. So now we just need to make sure that one pig gets 1 Twinkie. So let's see. Do you want to open up the side door? Okay. How do we do this? This one for this one? You want that one? Okay.
And it's gone.
And then we need to get the red one to eat a Twinkie. You got that one? They're just so eager to be eating right now. Come on over. Come on. Oh, she's like
And it's gone.
a little bit foaming at the mouth. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's not so palatable
No.
once they get it, but they are eating it. And based on their, you know, look how lean they are. We expect that they probably do have parasites, probably worms, especially since we don't believe they've ever been treated. And so it's a kind of a combo between not eating enough and having some parasites. So hopefully this will help them out, and they're going to be looking much better here in a few weeks, hopefully. Little chickies. This is one of the posts Keegan was digging in, and just to show you how high the water table is here, he hit groundwater about 2.5 feet down. So we don't know if we're going to have to do concrete or something different for this post, because the water sitting down there will ultimately just rot the post, even though it is a treated post. I mean, you just don't want it setting in water forever. So we'll have to see what we're doing with that. This was a calf enclosure for when the weather was super cold, but right now we don't have any small calves and the weather is a little bit warmer. We are expecting still some freezing temperatures, of course, since it's still winter, but much warmer than it was during the Arctic blast anyway. But Rick is bringing the little calf hutch over, and that will be our pig enclosure, so that the pigs will have a nice spot out of the weather if they so choose to have it. Sam's tying on the fence now. Only about 500 more to go. this is the solution to block the pigs off from the pipe. We're using the cage from an IBC tote upside down, and hopefully that'll keep them out of there. We didn't intend to move the pigs into their new pen tonight, just because we wanted to make sure we had it all finished and reinforced. But this gal who's pregnant, after getting a good fill of food, she started nesting in here in the straw and hay. And we are worried that she may just go into labor. She really doesn't look like she should, but we don't know. So we're going to move them into the pig pen. So let's go over here. We did run the electric around to the base, so there is one electric wire. You can see it with the yellow clips. So that's on the inside and around the low area. That's supposed to train them to the hot wire. So eventually we won't need the whole fence for them, but it's also to keep them from pushing on this, because, I mean, if they pushed hard enough, they could probably get through. Keegan added some reinforcement stakes along the way that is between the goat pen, and they also ran some stakes for the electric fence along that side, since we couldn't hook it onto the T-posts since they're on the other side of the fence there. He's backing up to the gate here so we can just have a smooth transition from the trailer into the gate. Excuse the mess here. We're just trying to get stuff out of the way so we can get this done before the sun sets. These are the food barrels that will be here right next to the pig pen, making it more simple. So we've got a bit of a gap here. Are we just going to try and fill this gap with bodies?
Louis.
He's around this way. Sam's standing here with me. Come on, piggies. Come on, pig. Come on, pig. There we go. Right into the pen. There's one. Come on, girlfriend. Follow your friend. Here we go. Little step down. There you go. In you go. All right. Woohoo. They are in their new pen. Are we going to put some straw in here for... Oh, goodness. Look at that. Rooting right up. Happy as pigs in mud, I suppose. So we'll put out a little bit of straw here so she can build a nest in the shelter for her little piglets. They've got their food. We'll bring in the water dish that we had in the trailer. And I don't know if I went over clearly what we wanted these pigs for. So these two ladies ideally will not be something that we butcher. They will be our breeding stock, and so we will be raising these two to have piglets. Their piglets will be raised up then for meat. We intend to raise them on a non-GMO diet, which isn't something that is common in this area. I know of one other farmer that is feeding non-GMO pigs for sale. However, he's doing the Kuni breed, which is a lard breed of pig, and these are more of... Oh, that was the hot wire. I guess they're learning about electric fence really quickly. But the other farmer is doing a lard breed of pig, and these are more of a meat breed of pig, so they're leaner cuts, and this is honestly our preference. We have tried the kuni meat and we were not huge fans of it. It does have more marbling, but just the flavor is different and not our preference. So that is why we chose to go with these kind of pigs, and that is what we intend to do with them. So I hope you guys enjoyed our video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to keep following our adventure.